We got Tony Villarreal, head coach of the Weslaco Panthers here. Coach, congratulations on your win last night.
Oh, thanks, guys. How y'all doing this morning?
Well, I'm doing okay. I feel like I lost an arm when Tony left us for UTRGV, but no, it's been an interesting morning here with Kevin and I.
It's okay. So, what else is going on?
Nothing much. I mean, you guys are rolling right now. I mean, you guys look like in nothing against Weslaco East, but you guys look like the marquee team in the district.
Well, we appreciate that. Our kids have worked really hard, and this year we went out and scheduled a hard non-conference schedule, and kind of I think got us ready. We played the Donnas and the Corpus Christi King. I think Corpus Christi King is undefeated. They're probably the district champions in the San Antonio district. So we've gone out and played some real tough the two Harlingen schools. They're very competitive, and so I think that kind of gets you ready for district. We had a lot of questions in non-conference, but and once we I think solidified the defense, who was playing where, we've kind of started gelling, started hitting on all cylinders.
Yeah, and you guys have 5 underclassmen. A lot of people don't know that you have 5 underclassmen starting on your defense. I mean, it has to be a growing period for those guys, and right now you guys look tough on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, our young guys, they really got a lot of playing time last year. The subs, the sophomores, a very talented sophomore group last year, and the Jordan Nichols and the Brandon Mendeses and Diego Rodriguez, those guys played a lot last year, and some of those guys started. So they're already, got a year and a half under their belt. They still got another year to go. So we're very blessed to have some real top-notch underclassmen.
Now, we've been looking at, I mean, we're getting close and to the playoffs, and we've been looking at the playoff scenarios. Mm-hmm. Is there a scenario where you're playing Harlingen again?
I don't know. Unless we, I don't think so. Unless, we drop 2 or, I don't see it. I think it's pretty much, unless Los Fresnos ends up on top of Harlingen, that'd be the only way. They're the 2 large schools, and we're a large school. So, I don't think it's going to work. I think it's going to be Los Fresnos. That's what we suspect. But, we still got 2 good, solid games. Anything can happen at that point,
Yeah, and you've got a buffer game before you play East. I mean, and we've been talking to all the coaches this morning. How do you keep them focused for that marquee game? I mean, I hate to say marquee because the other teams get mad, but
right.
But you've got East around the corner, and as Mike Gonzalez calls it, the Tinaco Bowl. How are you guys preparing for the next 2 weeks?
Well, it's just that we prepare for 2 weeks at a time, and we really give every opponent their due respect, and we talk about and obviously Economides is I think if they win out, they're a playoff team, so we don't want to lay an egg if that's the right term. We want to play as hard as we can and coach every play. And play every play between now and the playoffs. I mean, because one of the things that we really try to preach is making sure that you play hard because you can get hurt. I mean, if you you don't respect your opponent, or you take it easy, or you're not very confident, or you're not very focused, you could hurt yourself. You could lose a knee or an ankle, and then we hobble into the playoffs or whatever. So we really want to play and we want to coach. All our coaches want to work real hard to coach in every single play as hard as we can.
Hey, Coach, this is Kevin here.
Yeah, hi, Kevin.
I'm doing good. Now, I saw you all 2 weeks ago against Edinburgh North, and which happens to be my alma mater, and boy, you guys really put it to them, and I was really impressed. The one thing that I'm impressed is with all the running backs you have right now, I circled 4 of them that I know of. All 4 of them touch the football, UCL, Major, Matt, and Brian. How difficult is it for a defense to game plan for so many running backs, and then you have Desi Rodriguez who can run and throw?
Yeah, I mean, we're blessed to have a little bit of talent there and a little bit of quality backup. Sometimes you don't get that, but we're fortunate. We've got really we got 4 or 5. Sometimes we get 6 kids. In like last night, we played 6 kids, and so I mean, it's. I think it's hard for defenses to lock in on one deal, but by the same token, we move them around. We try to make our kids versatile. Every kid, every young man, Brian, he can play the tailback. He can play the I back. He can play the one back. He can play the slot back. So when you move a talented running back like Brian Guerra around, you don't know where he's coming from, and that changes the defensive reach. I think it causes a lot of problems for defenses. Then you couple that with a Desi who can throw and run, and you got one of the things that we've been real fortunate, we've got 3 fullbacks that can really take it to the house with Uciel, Jonathan Martinez, and Matt Ortiz. Matt Ortiz is probably the fastest fullback we got, and he's he goes in there a couple times here and takes it to the house. So we do have a pretty good little system going on right now.
Yeah, and then Major Free again. That game against Edinburgh North, he lined up I think out of the slot and he hauled one in too. So I think you kind of got your very own smash, tash, and dash type of thing. It's just a culmination of everything.
Sure.
Another question I have for you, coaches. Last year I saw you all in the playoffs against I think it was Laredo United. I made that trip up there. Boy, that was a crazy ball game. But all these guys returning this year, how big is that experience for those boys to play in a third round game against a team like Laredo United, and then looking at the playoffs coming up, how big is that experience?
Well, I think it pays dividends, especially because the older young men or the older lettermen, they know what it takes and how to behave on the road. And one of the biggest things that I've seen of our kids is that if you look at our schedule, I think we had 6 road games, and we've been fortunate. We've won most of those on the road. Most of our victories have come on the road. So, playing on the road, it's a whole different process. It's a whole different, packing up, moving 100 people, whether it be kids, coaches, trainers, everybody. That in itself is the logistics of that, and getting off the bus and then being focused and playing. That right there, you can lose the game just packing up and going and driving to San Antonio or going to Corpus or going anywhere. I mean, it's hard to win on the road with high school kids. I'm going to be very honest with you. But when you got the fact that we played, I think the thing it's an advantage, and plus having seniors coming back, I think that we played 6 road games and we've got some seniors that played on the road. Is going to play dividends for us down the road, hopefully, and that's an investment for us, and hopefully we can turn it into a couple of wins in the playoffs.
So Coach, real quick, has Coach Sedna? I did the PA for your baseball for the baseball team, and I got to know Coach Sedna really well. Has he told you anything on Ulysses Hernandez? He was probably going to be the pitcher here this coming season with Freddie having graduated.
Right. No, he hasn't really said anything to me. Although Ulysses has played really well. I mean, he's improved from we picked him up in 7-on-7 in the spring, and 7-on-7 is one thing, getting out there and putting pads on and knocking people around and making tackles is a completely different thing. And I think every week Ulysses gets better and better and better and better. In fact, last night, we matched him up with Bocanegra, and I think he pretty much shut him down. He made some big plays, and he was real close. He knocked down some, and he almost had an interception. And I think he had the big interception against Donna. I don't know if you remember that one. In the end zone, he picked that one off. So he is improving every week. I'm pleasantly surprised, and I'm very happy to have him.
Yeah, just an all-around athlete.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Coach, this team, I mean, offensively, defensively, I think, for me, I think they're one of the best teams that you've had. But where do they compare with the Meshach and Dylan's team? I mean, do you see this team as a 3-round team? Because offensively and defensively, it seems like you guys have put something together that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, they're all. I guess you could compare them. I think that's what fans do a lot. And it's hard for me to do that because I have so much respect for the history and the Dylans. I mean, I don't think we have a Meshach without a doubt. There's nobody on the team that plays like Meshach. The one thing about Meshach was a fantastic blocker. He was a devastating blocker and ball carrier and receiver and everything. Now, we do have some kids like Brian Guerra, he's in that conversation, but he's not Meshach. I'll tell you that right now. But there's no way. Now, our offensive line, I'll tell you something about Meshach. Meshach didn't have the offensive line that we have now. This offensive line is the best offensive line we've had. And so that there is a big difference there. As far as Dylan and Desi, I mean, you can compare them. They do have similar throwing styles, and they do run the ball. They do have a very good command of the huddle and the offense, and they got great football IQ. They change the play on the line of scrimmage. They do a lot of things that sometimes you can't do with just average kids. And so Dylan and Desi is a good comparison. But I think the difference offensively is our line is dominant. I think they're the best trapping team we've had and the best downhill one-on-one team we've had. Now, defensively, I think we're better than we were the Meshach game, the Meshach year when we played San Antonio. I think this defense is a lot better.
Yeah, and that was an incredible game. That Madison game at home was one of the best games I'd been to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you stopping in with us this week. Good luck against Economides and then Weslaco East. Hopefully, we'll have you back on before the playoffs because it's going to be incredible. It's going to be incredible for you guys this year.
Well, I appreciate the you guys calling us and good luck to you guys and hopefully we'll be back. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Coach Tony Villarreal of the Weslaco Panthers. It's hard for me to do the Villarreal. I live in Argentina. We speak Castellano, so it's a little bit different. But incredible program. What he's done there has just been amazing. And by the way, he's a great guy. If I don't do this, I feel like I'm Donald Trump right now. You think there's something wrong. But no, great guy. He's that program is clicking. I think they're one of the best teams in the Valley. And since they lost to Harlingen, they really have rolled everybody.
Yeah, and we were talking about Vela and McAllen Memorial, and I think Weslaco is right there with them. You're right, a great program, well coached, and then it's just the rushing attack that they have. And I think I named 4, and I think he named 6, but I think realistically they can have up to 10 running backs out of that backfield. And like I said, one of them can run you over, one can run around you. They're all different types of running backs, and they can really strike at any time. And I remember last year, and I think I said third round. I think it was the second round, because I remember earlier that day I was at the Victoria East Vela game, or whatever. Loretto United, they have those receivers and quarterbacks that they have. Weslaco ended up throwing the football, and everybody, including myself, was like, "Whoa, wow, this is impressive." And they even shocked Laredo United. And I tell you what, Jake, they were a special teams mishap and one big play, sandwiched it in with a crazy rain delay from winning that football game. I think they had a mishap on special teams where the ball went over the punter's head. The Weslaco fans remember that. And then they had one big bomb that I think Herrera hauled it in for Laredo United. Those two plays kind of just separated that football game from Weslaco winning against a very good Laredo United team. But the Panthers will be back, and then we're 2 weeks away from Weslaco East and Weslaco, and that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and he's got enough weapons right now that it doesn't really matter who he puts in the backfield. He's going to they're going to roll the next the next game. I think East will be different because it's a rivalry game. It's at home. Oh, it's at home.
Well, yeah.
But I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, and like I said, it doesn't matter if they're in the backfield, if they're lined up in the slot. Major Free, I think he came out of the slot, and then he caught a pass. He's he's kind of built like a receiver. He's kind of a tall uphill runner, kind of a tall kid who plays running back. So
I'm impressed with him because he played basketball. He was a basketball player, and I watched him try to dunk last year, and dunking takes some. It's hard to do in a game.
Well, his brother's on the team too. He's on the D line. He's a junior. They're Justice Free.
Yeah. They're both frees. I would love to be a free, but but I'm here in the studio and Tony left me. So, anyways, but we're up to a break right now. I know I'm playing the violin, Hanker, but you're listening to the Huddle on Fox Sports 1700, sponsored by McDonald's.